In this week's midweek video, I'm going to show you some basics on importing your images into Lightroom. Down to the screen share. Great. If you haven't seen the photos I'm about to import, they are in the previous video. Looking at my screen here, I've got my photos from that last video over on the right hand side of my screen. And I have Lightroom open on the left side of my screen just so you guys can kind of see both. I have created a new catalog which if you've never been in Lightroom before, it's going to prompt you to do automatically. If you've already been in Lightroom, you have a catalog saved already. If you don't know where that catalog is saved, please look for it, locate it, and know where your backup of that is. Okay, so I'm going to hit Control A over here and select all my photos from the shoot. And the easiest way to import is to go ahead and just drag and drop. As long as you're selected on that library module, it'll bring you to this screen as you drag and drop. On this screen, you can see all 33 of the images that I'm importing into the video. Fantastic, they all look. On the right hand side here, you can see the Build Previews tab. Now the Build Previews tab is not extremely important, but it does depend what you're trying to do in Lightroom and how fast you're trying to work. Now, if I selected the minimal preview tab or option, as I try to view the photos and zoom in on them, you're only going to see a very small portion of the image. So basically when you click and zoom in, it's going to make you render that image and kind of have like a loading document that's telling you it's trying to build up the full quality of the image. Where if you did the one-to-one preview, that would be the full image is your preview. So when you click and zoom in on something, say to check focus on someone's face or the object, it will instantly load and you'll know right away, which is definitely my favorite way to work, because why wouldn't you? If you're importing a large amount and you're building that one-to-one preview, import, walk away, go get a drink, whatever, come back, and it'll be done. Now the smart previews checkbox. That's super important if you're not backing up your photo somewhere else, and as long as you've located that Lightroom catalog that I was talking about before. If you build smart previews and you lose your photos off your hard drive or something happens and you can still recover the backup of your Lightroom catalog, you can recover all those images. They won't be the full res great images that you took, but you'll have something. Say if you shot an event and you lost everything and they go back and they want something, you can hopefully pull something that'll satisfy your client's need and kind of get out of a tight jam. Just a nice kind of secondary backup. I always check the box, don't import suspected duplicates. That way I'm not accidentally adding in photos that I've already put into my Lightroom catalog. If I wanted to add it to a collection, obviously you can click here and add to quick collection. Which would just be a further way of organizing your photos within Lightroom that doesn't create folders in the folder that you're importing your images from, just in your Lightroom catalogs. These are developed settings, so you could set a preset onto your photos, so when you import it automatically runs, say, a +3 exposure setting on it or something to that matter, color, anything. Metadata, you could add metadata or keywords to your import. So if I wanted to add motor cycle to my keywords here, every time I search that keyword, these images will pop up as a motorcycle image. Once I've gone through all those options there and have gone through my file handling, I click import, and it takes a minute to load, especially because I did those one-to-one previews, and you can see that starting to load at the top. Okay, so voila, popped up. Smart previews were built or already exist for 32 photos. Fantastic. So I've imported all 32 of my photos. At the top here, you can see it's building the one-to-one previews now, which is great. So while that's loading, say I open this image, I'm gonna hit space and zoom in, and it should give me great. No loading bar, right to a nice crisp zoomed in image at 100% there. So we're looking really, really good. So that's basically it for this week, guys. I just wanted to cover the importing process and getting them into the Lightroom. We'll continue on this little Lightroom journey, and we'll continue moving on into organization and what I do to vent down the photos and decide what I'm going to keep. But for now, you should know how to import and be able to get your photos into Lightroom and be able to view them a little nicer and stay creative.
I can't reach.